Is this how this works? I can't remember. It's been a while, like 7 months I want to say, since Christmas time that I've last done a video. In case you don't know, hi guys, my name is Chris Vint, aka Vintomania, and the reason why I'm doing this video is because this time last week, that's so sad to say that, I was at London Film Comic Con meeting some of the celebrities and getting stuff signed and stuff, and I just wanted to go through my experience and what I got signed and the haul video, which doesn't actually exist because I bought nothing. Well, I bought some Star Wars photos and a can of Fanta, and that was it really. So yeah, I didn't really buy much at all. Things have changed since the last time you saw me. I'm in a new place now. Unfortunately, my father passed away a couple of months ago as well, so life has been a bit of a whirlwind. Obviously, you guys may not know that I was planning to go to Philadelphia with Dave, and that happened around the time of British Airways cluster mess with their computer systems, and then Dad was taken in the hospital then and sadly never recovered. But that's that. This is talking about things that I was looking forward to, and I'd only really planned to do this around March time, and I'm really glad that I did, because then I would have had nothing to do this year. So the first thing we did on the Friday, so Simon, Robbie, Anna and I went down to pick up our diamond passes. So basically I got a diamond pass for Benedict Cumberbatch. As you can see here, there's 2 hole punches. One is for whenever you have your photograph taken, one is for your autograph, and this here is for doing the talk. Now, they didn't have a lanyard, and they didn't have this print. Oh, sorry. They didn't have this print, so Robbie was able to get that for me on the Friday, I think, whenever I had one of my photo shoots. So thank you for that, Robbie. And the lanyard was handy as well. So yeah, I got number 190. Simon had number 447. But we all got our stuff and what have you. And like I say, I'll go through things first of all. So on the Friday, I'm just going to get into it because I'm expecting this to be a long video and I don't want to bore you guys to death. Now, I have them in these, which are like photo book things, which the guys did not like. I think Simon must have thrown out about a wad about that big in the bin before we left the hotel. But I like these because these would protect these for me bringing them home, which luckily I did. Not that there was anything wrong with my suitcase inside, but outside the wheel broke off. You know, as I was walking through London to meet Robbie. So yeah, the first person I met, I'm going to do the autographs at the end. I just want to do all the photographs first of all. So I'm going to do it like this. So the first person I met, alright, so I need to try and see what's the best place to put this. Alright, so there was David Morrissey, who you may know as the governor from Doctor Who, the governor from Walking Dead, and in Doctor Who, the episode called The Next Doctor. He was a very nice man. I got his autograph beforehand and said to him I would see him in his photo shoot, and he didn't know what time it was at, so I had to tell him, thanks Chris. I pretty much not told anything, but I was really happy with how the photo turned out. Oh, it's actually better if I do that as well. So yeah, I can't be bothered taking these out of the things to put them back in again. So yeah, so the next person I met was Pamela Anderson. Why is there no photo? Funny story. I'll put the photo at the end. Whenever I was queuing up to meet her, I noticed that people were coming out with their photos in the booklets. At that stage on the Friday, they had plenty of booklets. On the Sunday, not so much. So I'd noticed that people's photos didn't look right. It looked really overexposed, and if you'd seen my photos, you know what I'm talking about. So I went up, got my photo taken, and she was a nice enough person. Don't get me wrong, there was no, it wasn't a case of like a Famke Janssen, you know, don't put your arms around her, you know, you would put your arms around her, and you know, I was able to thank her, and she went, it's been fun, hasn't it? And it's like, is that sarcasm? Because it's been like 2 seconds. She's probably used that. No, but anyway, so yeah, so I was able to meet her and then get my photograph, because you get your photo immediately after you've got the photo taken, so it comes out straight away. So I was happy enough with that. And then I got the photo and I looked at the photo and I was like, huh. So I went round to the guys and I said, I'm not happy with this, and showed them the photo, and they were like, whoa, that is dreadful. I was like, yeah, it's not a case of I was pulling a weird face, or, you know, like she looked like I farted or something. But it just looked really overexposed. So Dave was on his phone and messaged me and said, there's something on the forum about it you may want to see about getting it sorted. And people were complaining about it, and they said to go to the organiser's booth and see about it. So I thought, right, okay. So before I did that, I took a photo of the photo, so I would have, like, you know, I'd be able to show people how awful it is, as I will you. And queued up there with Simon, and eventually got seen to and explained the circumstance, and she went, okay, what we can do is we can give you a refund for this. I was like, that's fine. I don't even want, even if I can have credit, that's fine, because I'll be here Saturday and Sunday and I plan to get some autographs and such, so she was happy to oblige that. But I had to give them the photo and write my name and my order number on the back of the photo. And she said that apparently this is something that either her or her agent had required the photos to look like this, and through the weekend they seemed to get gradually better, but I think after having seen mine, Simon was kind of put off about it, so he got a refund for his on Saturday, and that was able to give him some money towards, like, say, a Natalie Dormer autograph or whatever. So basically I got to meet her for free, which I was fine with. The next person who I was meeting was somebody who, after the plans for Philadelphia came through, because I couldn't be that far away from family, the guys kindly offered me to go to Collector Mania, which was in Birmingham, with them, because one of the people there was somebody I was really excited about to meet. Speaking of which, I'll do that after. But then on the Tuesday, my dad had taken a turn for the worse, and then I couldn't go. And that person was Dean Kane. So I was really excited to meet him, because the guys had said nothing but good things about him, and they were completely correct. He was one of... With this, you will find that I will say the term lovely and blah blah blah, and there isn't really a bad experience in here, but we'll get to that. But he was up there, the top ones. He was on a restricted schedule. He was there 2 to 6 on the Friday, all day Saturday, and 9 to 2 on the Sunday. So this is my photo with the wonderful Dean Kane, who seemed to look at everyone's shirts, and he said he really liked my shirt, which was the He-Man and Master of the Universe one. But I was really happy to meet him, shook everyone's hand and thanked them for coming out and such. The guys were kind enough, whenever I couldn't make it, that they actually clubbed together and got me a Dean Kane autograph, which I then got myself one, but this means a lot because it's a gesture behind it. So I thank you guys for doing this for me. I really appreciate it. After that, I only had one more photo, and it was kind of one that I was on the fence about, and I thought, you know what, after Philadelphia was cancelled, I kind of made a promise to myself that if I wanted to meet somebody, I wouldn't hem and haw about it, I would do it. And that was Mads Mikkelsen, who, oh, is it the last one? Yes. Mads Mikkelsen, who was obviously in Casino Royale and played Gillen Erso, Jin's dad in Rogue One. I was going to say Force Awakens there. Nice man, just went up, said hello, and just took the photo. He always wears really, really bright clothing as well, which I've noticed. But yeah, I was happy with how that photo turned out. And one thing we wanted to do is we wanted to get a prop shoot photograph with all of us. So we decided there was a Big Bang Theory set one there. So we decided to get that done. It wasn't as glamorous as the photographs on Showmaster's website kind of made it out to be, but nonetheless it's a nice memento of a wonderful weekend. Yeah, so yeah, so I'll go on to Saturday now. Now Saturday was oh yeah, you had this, which is basically, and I got the guys to sign it. Sorry Robbie, you didn't sign it because you weren't there on Sunday. Sorry, I'm going to swear, fuck progress. So I got the guys to sign that, but basically you have a schedule here which tells you what time your photographs are at and such. Now I had let's see. I had Ian McDermott, who was at E. I had Christopher Lloyd, who was at C. Now, these are on other sides of the building, near enough. I then had Benedict Cumberbatch, who was, where was he? He was in G, and I had my diamond pass for him. So, I went to Ian McDermott first. Now, apologies if I kind of get teary-eyed saying this, but before Dad had passed, and I don't want to say this, I don't want to keep blathering on about it, but it's important that I kind of get it out. He was very excited that I was going to get to meet the Emperor, because the Emperor, obviously Star Wars meant a lot to Dad and I, because we would go out and see the movies together, and you know, Rogue One was probably the last movie that we saw together. In fact, it was. So whenever I told Ian McDermott was going to be there, who played the Emperor, he was really, really excited about it. And unfortunately, he never got to see me meeting him. So in the photo with Ian, you'll see I'm wearing a polo shirt, which was a polo shirt that I bought for Dad. It was a Star Wars one, because he loved his polo shirts and wanted something different. So he loved that, so I thought I kind of would bring a part of Dad with me to meet Ian. Yeah, very, very nice man. Just like, I don't know who was winning Battle of the Beers, either him or David Morrissey. So he was my most important meet of the week. We also then were managed to get like low VQ numbers for the people we wanted to meet, and I'll show you that autograph of that later on. So I had Ian McDermott to go to, Christopher Lloyd to go to, Benedict Cumberbatch to go to. So after Ian McDermott, I then went to Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd, now they call them in batches, so I was batch 1, so I thought, right, if I do that, then I can go to him batch 1. I got seen to pretty quickly. No. Saturday was a bit of a mess. The queue went from where the photo shoot area was all the way outside, and I had to ask people, is this a queue for Christopher Lloyd? And I went, yes. So I was like, right, well, I have a William Regal photo shoot at 10:20, so then I went to that. Forgot that I was half an hour later, so then I went and got my Benedict Cumberbatch photo. So once I'd done that, then I got my Benedict Cumberbatch photo, which was probably one of, you know, I wanted a Marvel person to be there, and I'd only really started watching Sherlock probably 2 or 3 weeks. It was Dave who kind of persuaded me to watch it, and thanks for that, Dave, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I really wanted a Marvel guest to be there, and you know, to meet Doctor Strange. So I met 3 people from Doctor Strange, which was good. So I was really, really happy to meet him. Very, very nice man. Some guy in front of me took him a violin and went, you know, I have no idea how to play this, and kind of just laughed about it. But I kind of wanted to get this done, because he had 29 batches of photos. Now bear in mind that each photo session has about 50 to 100 in it, and there's 29 of them, including diamond passes too, which there's about 500 of. So he was a busy cat. Plus he then had to do autographs, so that was kind of busy too. So once I'd done that, then William Regal still hadn't started, so then I bolted over to Christopher Lloyd, which now a lot of people will be like, oh, Christopher Lloyd, Back to the Future, but for me, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because I remember watching that with my sister and my dad while my mum was in hospital. But as morbid as it sounds, with Carrie Fisher having left us, with the people getting older and older, you kind of want to make sure you meet them before I'll put it on the next year, because you might not have the next year. So once I'd done that, then I had Bernard Cribbins to do, and I still had William Regal to do. But as much as I wanted to do William Regal, Christopher Lloyd's photo shoot area was here, and Bernard Cribbins' one was here, whereas before that, Christopher Lloyd's was here, and William Regal's is out the door and down the road a little bit. Not that far away, but you get the gist. So Bernard Cribbins, whenever he was announced, was one that was really important to me, because I loved his portrayal as Wilf in Doctor Who. I also grew up with the Wombles, so with him being the voice of, you know, Uncle Bulgaria and things. It's been years since I've watched it, but he was sitting down, but a lovely man. There was some guy dressed as Negan, and he took his baseball bat and pretended to hit him in the chest, which made us all laugh. But yeah, just a really, really nice man. Although I did say thank you and went to shake his hand, and he completely blanked me. So I got blanked by Bernard Cribbins. So after that, after much text and hurry up, well, not really, but texting via Robbie, I eventually got there, and we were the last ones to see William Regal, and then there were problems. because the woman seemed to forget how to work the camera. So we're standing there with our arms around Regal, and you could tell Regal's like moving around and such, and you're like, you know, you can see the lens moving around, and then she says to Robbie, can you move your glasses down, can you move your glasses up, can you take your glasses off? So this is the first photo of Robbie Rebel with no glasses. I said I'd draw them on, but I haven't yet, Robbie, sorry. And while she was fiddling around, she even took a photo of her feet. We were asking William Regal, you know, so how are you? Oh yes, I'm great, how are you? And just a real gentleman's man, as you can see from my face with me kind of cracking up, because we were standing there for so long, and typical us being the last one, so I just about made that. But that was Saturday was stressful for everyone concerned. Sorry, just taking a drink. Amuse yourselves for a moment. Yeah, so Saturday was a stressful morning for all concerned, and then kind of calmed down a bit. Who was next? Oh right, another person who I was on the fence about meeting, but whenever the schedule was released, I was able to see if I had any time available, and that was Benedict Wong, who Simon said, what character did he play in Doctor Strange? I went, Wong, funnily enough, and he was amazing. He was so funny. He was doing all these poses and such, and he had like his music there with him, and there was a video of him and Sylvester McCoy bopping along, but he was doing like lots of funny poses or serious poses, so I was just happy with how it turned out. It's just a really, really cool photo, one of my favourite ones from the weekend. And then Dave and I had planned to meet, I planned to meet a celebrity with each of my friends, and planned this way in advance. So Dave and I, because obviously we watch Arrow, we decided to meet Joe Dinical, who played, or however you pronounce his surname, who played Ragman in Arrow. And this turned out to be Dave's man crush, because he met him several times, you know. So we got a photo with Joe, which is nice. He isn't as light as feather though. But yeah, so it was just nice to meet him. Got an autograph from him on the Sunday, because the poor man had nobody near him, and he was a lovely man, very welcoming, as they all were, and that was that. So I then got a little surprise from Dave and Gemma, so thank you guys for that, which was meeting John Cleese. Somebody who kind of was on the fence about, but I was kind of treated to that, so thank you guys for doing that. You didn't need to, but I really appreciate it. So to meet a comedy legend from the likes of Fawlty Towers, Monty Python, even James Bond whenever he played Q, it's so strange to look at a photo and then you're beside this person, and very, very nice guy. He shook your hand whenever he came up and stuff. So that's John Cleese. So yeah, it's just, as I say, it's so surreal to say I met John Cleese. But he was a very, very busy man, as you know you would expect, because of that. And there was other autographs and stuff that I got throughout the day on the Saturday, because I had a bit of time in between shoots. So I decided to get that done. I think it was either on the Saturday or the Sunday that Anna and I then decided to get our DeLorean photo, so that we would have something to commemorate the weekend. So then that was Saturday, and then Saturday's obviously the busiest day of the convention. It's absolutely rammed, as people love to say time and time again. Like Game of Thrones theme, isn't that right, Robbie and Simon? So anyway, moving on swiftly from one segue to another. Oh, I didn't even think about that. It worked. On the Sunday, my friend Gemma and I met another Gemma, which was Gemma Whelan, who obviously plays Yara in Game of Thrones. And Simon met her later on. Very, very nice lady. And again, we had a photo taken and Gemma's eyes were all googly eyes. So we got to take it again, and it turned out a lot better. And we got another 2 photos, which was nice. So yeah, I met her, pregnant, by the way, as well, the middle Gemma, and yeah, so very, very nice lady, and Simon met her later on the day. I queued up with him to meet her, and he was saying that, you know, how much of one of the favourite characters that she portrays is one of his favourite in Game of Thrones, and you know, it doesn't take much. You know, a little sentence like that can make somebody's day, somebody's weekend, and she was really, really appreciative of it. And just to meet her and say hello again was nice. And I was like, I'm sure you're glad to be sitting down. I was like, yeah, but at the same time, I want to get up and do stuff. So the next one that I met was Kevin Smith. He seemed to take forever to get through his photos, but that's because, you know, he'd put his hand out and people would hug him, and, you know, have like a little minute or two chat, and then you get a high five or high 10 before you leave, and it was just really, really nice to meet him. So I went up to him and said, like, oh, I always call him sir. I don't go like, hey, Kevin, because I don't know him, you know, so I would call him sir. And I went up and I went, hello, sir, and then put his arm around, sir. But he was a very, very nice man who I met on the Saturday to get my autograph from, and was able to explain to him a couple of different things, which I'll go on to later on. But yeah, just a really, really nice guy, and one of those ones, like a lot of them, that you'd want to meet again because he was so pleasant. While I was queuing on the Sunday, I decided to get a photo with Rosie Jane, who played Bill's mum in the latest season of Doctor Who, because I kind of met another companion. I've met some other companions, so I thought, well, why not? So Gemma and I got that photo with Rosie. She was only £10 as well, so I thought, well, with Doctor Who being Doctor Who and as popular as it is, her price can only go up the way, you know. And then this was one that I was really, really nervous about, because like this time last year I was up to season 5 of Game of Thrones, and I'm all up to date and everything, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. And episode 3 of season 7 was my favourite of this season so far, was Natalie Dormer. And on the Saturday she had her hair up, and I was like, I really hope she has her hair down. And the Sunday, and Simon texted me out, Natalie has her hair down. I was like, yay! And whenever you go up to people, you know, like, you can ask them if you could do a certain pose or whatever. So I went up and I was like, hello there. And she went, oh, hi. And I went, would you mind awfully doing your Marjorie smirk for me? Because Marjorie was one of my favourite characters in Game of Thrones. And Natalie Dormer, being Natalie Dormer, is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. So, you know, I'm surprised that came out right. And I was like, Smith and a smirk, you know. So I was really, really happy with how... Because I text Simon and I went, I was phoning Simon and said, I'm not happy with this photo. And I went, oh no. And he said, I thought you weren't happy. And I went, no, I'm not happy. I love it. So you can see there, smirk. So she was lovely and thanked me. And I was just really, really happy with how that came out. Because sometimes with, you know, with people like, with beautiful people like that, you think she's going to be stuck up. She's going to be really, really ignorant and stuff. And polar opposite, absolutely diamond woman. And because Dean Cain was one of my top meets of the weekend, I decided I want to get another photo with Dean Cain, but I want to get a photo hugging Dean Cain. Yeah, there's a reason why I don't hug men very often, because it looks super awkward. But thanked him for the weekend and said to him happy birthday for tomorrow. I'm going to thank you, but I'm not counting it. But he was just an absolute diamond. So then Simon and I had a photo shoot planned with... Have I missed one, or have I went in the wrong way? I think I put it in the wrong way. I did. This was meant to go before Natalie Dormer. But anyway, so Simon and I were queuing up to meet David Bradley. And I said to Simon, you know, because if you have, you know, Simon and I have a ticket each, we can have a photo taken with David Bradley, but we can have 2 different ones. So I said, well, what if we get a normal one, and then what if we get a funny one? Because David Bradley, obviously, you'll know from Game of Thrones, from Finch's Harry Potter, and as he's portraying the first Doctor in the... he was in Adventure in Space and Time, and then he also will appear in the Christmas special with Peter Capaldi, where this will be Peter Capaldi's last story. And thank you, Gemma, by the way, if you're watching, for getting me back into Doctor Who, because without that I probably wouldn't have met this man, even though I loved Adventures, Space and Time. So I said, right, well, why don't we get 2? Why don't we get one of them rubbing his lapels like that there, and then one just like a normal one? So I got this one, which is him rubbing his lapels, and Simon and I looking shocked that we're with the first Doctor. So I was just really, really happy with how this came out. It's just really, really funny. And just very, very accommodating man. You know, again, whenever you see his characters on TV, you think, oh, he's going to be he's just going to be really, really short with you. And nope, nothing was too much trouble. Had a lovely chat whenever Simon was meeting him, and I decided to then get an autograph as well. He was so busy, like ridiculously busy. So yeah, luckily the gods were smiling on us for meeting him. So then Simon, because I met Gemma Whelan with Gemma, Joe Dinical with Dave, William Regal with Robbie, this was our planned one with Michelle Harrison. Now, again, we have two photos, one of Simon hugging Michelle and one of me hugging Michelle. And even whenever I did the hug first, she went to hug Simon, said, I feel like I'm cheating on you. And she was a lovely, lovely person. I'll put the photo, my favourite photo from the weekend, at the very, very end, because it just, every time I look at it, I smile. It just makes me crack up. It came out better than I expected. Even the person who printed it off turned around, looked at it, and went, that is really cool. So the first one that we got was me hugging Michelle Harrison. And Simon like, what the hell are you guys doing? You know, because Simon moves his head like that while he talks, you know. But it's just Simon's face as well. It's like, why are they hugging? Why am I not included? So I'll show you the other one at the end then. And then my last photo shoot of the entire weekend was Matt Lucas. Matt Lucas, obviously from Little Britain, and as I say Little Britain, no doubt somebody has went, I don't know. But he also portrayed Nardole in the new series of Doctor Who, and he was a character that I could not get along with at the start, but towards the end I really, really grew to love. I think the writing of this season, the latest season of Peter Capaldi, has been top notch with some terrific episodes, but I think the inclusion of Pearl Mackie as Bill has been a godsend, because as much as I like Clara, I think Clara was a bit of a know-it-all, and whereas Bill was kind of coming into the world with her eyes wide open, you know, not knowing things, but he shook your hand and stuff, and there was a lovely photo of somebody had like the thing going, hello fatties, and low and fat, high and fat, and dust is obviously low and fat, so you can have as much dust as you like. So to me with Matt Lucas. So I kind of met two comedy legends at the weekend. He's just a very, very nice man, you know, like, and shook his hand and said thank you very much, and he thanked me too. Right, so I'll go on to the autographs here. Right, so this, I suppose, helps if I take these out. I should actually be more prepared. That is my one with Joe Dinical. Now, I thought I'd get that one signed, and thanks Joe, not that you're watching, for signing in the middle, because then I can get Echo to sign here. That was unfortunate where my finger went to there, and whose name I can't remember because she wasn't in it that much. So yeah, so because one of the next conventions I'll be doing will be Heroes and Villains, where it's all Arrow, Flash kind of themes. So if he's there, then I can get that done. So we were queuing up to meet David Bradley, and he was only doing 1 to 15, and luckily enough we had like low VQ, so we were allowed in. And we were keen enough to meet him, and Simon had started Game of Thrones poster, which he'd only started that weekend, and already it looks fantastic. I'm not BSing this, but it looks amazing. And I kind of started a poster, but kind of was not that bothered with doing it, you know, so it was the Star Wars one, but I'm happy with the signatures I got on it, so it could be a villains poster, and then I could start a heroes one, or whatever, I don't know. It's something that you should really plan, you know, at your first convention. At your first convention, you should plan something out and then stick to it. But with me being getting on a plane to go to London, I can't then put a big poster tube, carry it with me, and it's very cumbersome because Simon was walking around like, you know, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I thought he was going to like use a 2x4 to whack somebody. So I met Natalie Dormer. Oopsie, Chris, take it out of that. There we go. This was the last photo kind of that she had. She had one from the Tudors and one, she had none from Game of Thrones. In hindsight, I should have really asked Robbie for his, like my Benedict Cumberbatch print, his Natalie Dormer one, because I would have looked awesome signed. So I got that done because obviously she was in Captain America. So I thought, well, I know her from that, and that was the last one of that. But because you get asked, they ask you if you want to personalise, so I said yes, and she looked and she went, oh hi Chris, and I was like, she knows my name, heart down the floor somewhere. and I just said to her, you know, thanks very much for doing this. My uncle actually does the mini cabbing for people on Game of Thrones. She went, oh, how funny. And she was saying about, you know, being in Belfast and people aren't really that bothered about coming to see you film. And you're like, did you come see them? Nah, you know, not that you can't be bothered, but there's so many different places and such. But I said, thank you very much for doing that photo and doing your Marjorie pose, because the photos come out better than I expected. Well, I assume I said that. Words came out, and I don't know if they were maybe garbled or whatever, but she got the gist of it. And she said, oh, thanks very much, and shook her hand and said, lovely to meet you, and, you know, take care, blah, blah, blah. And I also met David Bradley, who, as you can see here. Now, there was a guy dressed as Peter Capaldi who did this pose in his photo, which was brilliant. And I was just saying to him, you know, like, it must be something to be part of Game of Thrones, Harry Potter and Doctor Who. And he went like, oh, like you wouldn't believe it, it's changed my life, you know, doing this. And was so humble. And, you know, even though he was still busy, he was still personalising, still writing short quotes and stuff. And even Ian was kind of writing short quotes, but I was asking, because the thing I sounded was like, you know, I wanted to get, did you ever hear about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? And the guy went, that's too long. And I went, what about It's a Sith Legend? But then it wouldn't have looked right. So, obviously my Benedict Cumberbatch, he was insanely busy. Obviously there was no personalisation at all. And I was planning to get 2 autographs, but I only got 1 because of the no personalisation, because I prefer to have them personalised. So I got 1 signed for Dave, 2 signed for Mike, and then 1 for myself, which is this. And such a beautiful, I said, you've got such a wonderful autograph. And even though he was busy, you know, he still took time to talk to you and to thank you for coming and shook his hand, you know, and such. And I was just really, really happy with the fact that I got to meet him, because, not that I knew that I wouldn't, but without the Diamond Pass, I wouldn't have got that, because he was just doing, you know, like they were calling up to certain numbers, and it was like up to I said, what number are you up to? And Diamond Pass, I'm at 200 now. Right, okay. Because some guy told me to go after his talk, which is about 1:45. I thought, right, I'll go and get this done. I met Michelle Harrison, who I'd been talking to on Twitter, and I said, you know, like, obviously I'm looking forward to meet you. What's your policy in hugs? And went, hugs are welcome. So I said to her whenever I was meeting her, oh, it was the guy who asked about hugs on Twitter. And she got up out of her seat and came around and gave me a hug, and I was thinking, well, I meant the photo shoot, but I'm not going to turn down a hug. So because she signed this in kind of like a very small part, like her signature's really, really tiny, I can get other Flash people to maybe, so this will kind of like be a poster. So it just says there, Chris, lovely to meet you, Michelle Harrison. Again, lovely writing. So I can maybe get other people to sign this one, you know, if I get like a couple other people to sign it, or get another Flash comic and start that once this one gets filled. But that's probably my project for next year and going forward. And then I've got like some Arrow ones that I can do. I also met obviously I talked about Kevin Smith. So again, had a low VQ for him, so was able to go up and queue up to meet him. And obviously they have like a row of 8x10s and stuff, and they went, do you have your own item? And I went, yeah. So I went up to him and put down the comic in front of him, and I said, hello sir, again. And I said, pleasure to meet you. And obviously people will say, you know, my first Spider-Man story was, you know, Stan Lee story or whatever, but this was one of the first Spider-Man stories I read, because I only got into comics a couple of years ago. So he was kind of taken aback by that, and he went, you've read better stories since? I went, no. And he went like, that's a good answer but wrong. And I went, no. I said, I've recommended this story to a few people and they've really enjoyed it as well. So I said, would you mind making it, because Robbie had said no personalisation, and I went, would you mind making it out to Chris? So you see there, Chris, I love you, and then Kevin Smith down the bottom. And I just said, like, I really enjoyed the story. I loved the fact that there was I didn't love the fact, but there was a big delay between you know, one issue and another issue. And he said without the Dodson, Terry and Rachel Dodson, he wouldn't have had that chance. And he said there was a lot of changes to the script and things like that, so he was really, really happy with that. And on the Saturday I said, like, well, I'll see you for your photo shoot later on. He said, yeah, see you there, man. But he was just lovely. This was the Dean Cain one I was talking about. I was able to explain to him about you know, I was meant to meet him in Birmingham, and then I couldn't because of my father's situation. And he was very apologetic, and I said, why is there no... I loved him, and if you've ever seen a TV show called Las Vegas, watch it. It's great. It has James Caan, Josh Duhamel, and Dean Cain, and a couple other people in it. And I said to him about, how come there's no Las Vegas 8x10s? And he went, what? And I went, there's no Las Vegas ones here. And he went, oh, I don't even know what's here. And I said, I've got to say, I really enjoyed that show. And he went, oh, he said, the women in that show. He said, like, almost, and I say almost, felt bad getting paid for that because it was such fun. So I was really happy with, you know, it just says from one Superman to another. It just says cheers and Dean Cain. But if he ever appears at a con near you, seriously meet him, because it's money well spent. It's just, he's such a lovely guy. So then I did get this poster done, which was done by Jeremy Bellicoupe Boba Fett, Dave Price, who I said to him about the, I'm going to do it in his accent, I Am Your Father. There's like a little documentary thing on Netflix called I Am Your Father, and it's to do with the end of Return of the Jedi. Whenever you see Sebastian Shaw after he takes the helmet off, it should be Dave Prowse, you see, but it's not. That's enough of that. So I said to him that I really enjoyed that, and he went, yeah, I've had a lot of people saying that. Frick's sake, Chris. And I got Alan Harris, who played Bosk. He was lovely as well. Because he was at Belfast a couple of years ago, and one of my first conventions, I said, oh, I met you in Belfast a couple of years ago, and I went, oh, I really enjoyed going to Belfast, and, you know, wouldn't mind going back again. So yeah, so the biggest autograph for me was meeting Ian, as I explained earlier on. So I was able to explain to him, you know, the stuff that I've said to you guys about, you know, my dad and I going to see the Star Wars movies, how excited he was that he lost his near 5-year battle with cancer, and, you know, he was very, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And I said, well, I just want to thank you for the memories, because every time I look at this, or every time, you know, like I think of Star Wars, I always think of my dad and such, and he was just a nice guy. So I got this signed, and he said, like, oh, you need to get Hayden to sign that, and I went, oh, I would love to meet him and get him on it as well. So Hayden Christensen do LFCC 2018, that would be sweet. So that's basically it. As I say, I didn't excuse me, I didn't buy anything. I just, this is the point where I kind of wrap it up, but I just want to say to Dave, to Gemma, to Simon, to Robbie, to Mark, to Amy, to Anna, to anyone else I spent time with at the convention. You guys made the convention that much more better. Being excited for this convention has kind of been what's got me through stuff. And as Robbie said in one of his videos, it's not who you meet, it's who you go with. You know, like, you can go and meet all these people by yourself, but you wouldn't have half the experiences you have talking to people, having memories with people, having a laugh. You know, whether it's about Shepherd being spelt wrong, or whether it's a case of, you know, whether it's a case of staying in a hotel, 15 minutes walk to the arena rather than an hour and a half drive or whatever, or train ride. So that's why I'm wearing this Star Wars Celebration, because this was kind of the last con that I was at with Simon, Robbie and Dave, and obviously I hadn't met Gemma then. My life's a lot richer for having met Gemma now, and I've posted on Facebook saying that, you know, friends are the family you choose, and I've done really well with having them, you know, as friends. And as I say, I wouldn't be half the experience as I had without those guys in it. So I just want to say thank you so much. You know, it's easy to type it, but it's a lot harder to say it. But just thank you guys so much. I hated Sunday. I hated Sunday saying goodbye to people. And then now sitting here like a week later after the convention and thinking about things that you do, that's kind of what, well, that and Simon even said to me, where are your videos? I kind of miss your videos. So in a way, Simon, this video is for you and the rest of the guys. So blame him or thank him, whatever you deem necessary. But I shall leave you now. I don't know if and when I'll do a video again, but I thought I'd come on and say hello. It's been near 40 minutes, and I'll put the pictures at the end of this here. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and until next time.